Welcome back, Crowllies. I hope everybody's doing good. We're going to start our collective energy reading on what's coming next in your spiritual journey. Excuse me. All right, so for those of you that read the headline, there is a shift taking place, and with that shift, jumpstarts a sacred, romantic connection with a spiritual man. All right, so we're gonna do like the rundown of what's coming next in your energy, what the current energy is for you guys, what your healing messages are. How are you guys getting assistance in your next phase in your spiritual journey? The particular spiritual gifts that you are developing right now, the obstacles you guys are overcoming, and of course, your closing messages. So with that being said, let's jumpstart right into it with angel number 111. Okay, here we go. Let's see what is coming in. What is coming in? All right, we have divine feminine energy. You guys can see it. Boom, boom. Divine feminine energy. And I do have to fix it. And now this is purple, but for some reason it's not showing up as purple, but whatever. And we have a long-term commitment. Okay, maybe from this angle, you guys will be able to tell. There we go. Boom. Divine feminine energy and long-term relationship. Awesome. Then we have in the reverse a friend. So we're not talking about a friend situation. Okay. That being said, let's jump on it. Somebody has to give me a reminder or something like that so I can write this out with a Sharpie, because I said that last time and I completely forgot. All right, we have the Cosmic Oracle Tarot deck, okay? Or not tarot deck, Oracle deck. So I'm going to use these for what's coming next for you guys. You may or may not get a glimpse of a zodiac sign. Not sure. We'll see. We'll see what comes in. What's coming in next for my Crowllies for their Cosmic Energy Map? Yes, I really love this pink. I don't know. It's really nice. Here it goes. No. You thought it was that person, right? Yeah, you thought it was that person. No. You thought it was that person. No. Timing is a little off in regards to that particular person. All right. Let's see what else. That is so funny. I bet you all of you guys were like, I think it's the toxic person. I think it's the ex. I think it's the person that I just cut off. No. No. It's the person we've been hiding from. We've been blocking on social media. Oh, no. No. Not that person. Sorry. Try again. We said a spiritual man. Come on, y'all. We didn't say karmic. All right, let's see. And give it time. So there's something that you have to give time. Something, all right, so don't rush. Let's not rush. Let's not jump to conclusions, y'all. Let's not rush, especially because it's not the right time. Okay, so angel number 444, for protection purposes, what's coming up next is divine timing. Divine timing means there's no rushing. So if anything feels forced, if anything feels like you have to do it really quickly, or, you know, this person comes in very quickly, I don't think it really is that person. All right. When we talk about the spiritual man. So everything is going to happen in divine timing. All right. What's coming in next? Let me get one more for what's coming in next. We have cycles. Yep. And it's funny because for my OGs, you know, closed book. Closed book means that both of the sides of the decks are closed. You can't see anything inside, right? So, closed book, cycles. We talked about timing, angel number 555. There's a series of things that need to change before this connection can jumpstart. And I talked about an energy shift, right? We have fate and karma. So I'm not sure if this is on your behalf or their behalf. You take it how it fits for you. All right. But something is ending, something is shifting in order for this connection to develop, correct? And so that leads to some sort of beginning. Again, this is a long-term relationship. I do want to pull from the True Love reading cards. Okay, that is why it's here with the swans. We'll see what comes out for you guys for your message. What's the message here? Oh, well, that was fast. Commitment. Talk about divine timing. With the swans, that's actually the card that came out. Look at that. That's crazy. So commitment. We're talking about long-term relationship. See what's on the bottom of the deck. Serendipity. I love this card because it talks about just like for things to peacefully happen. All right. Good vibes, good energy. So I don't feel like this is something that, because whenever you see the cycles card, people usually jump to conclusions again and they go to, oh, it's karmic. Oh, it's only temporary. Again, they are starting off with it's a long-term relationship that you will have with this spiritual man. All right. Let's pull some more insight on what's coming next with the tarot keywords deck. Okay. Let's see what comes out. I just saw a glimpse of the death card. So yes, there are some changes taking place for you guys in regards to relationships. Okay. Let's see. Give us some more insight on what's coming in next. Particularly on what do they have to give time. Give time to what? Or for what? All right, the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is not always bad. This can also mean strategy. All right. You may need to take some time to kind of figure out what your next move is, what their next move is, what you're going to do next. Okay. The Seven of Swords right now could be, all right, maybe somebody's getting out of a situation that didn't necessarily go their way. Maybe someone's ending situations or situationships with people that could have betrayed them or deceived them or lied to them, any type of manipulation. It could be healing, all right? So currently you're getting out the Seven of Swords energy, all right? Some of you guys could have gone through like a situation with a fraud maybe a fraudulent or decoy masculine, right? And so getting out of that situation, now looking into wanting a long-term relationship, you may be strategizing on how quickly or how soon you will get into a connection, right? So that is definitely coming in. So you're being a little bit more conscious of your selection. All right, we have strength here. So you're building the strength emotionally to open up. Okay, strength, whenever I see this card, I think of, vulnerability. So strengthening your vulnerability, strengthening your heart, becoming a little bit more courageous when it comes to love in general, because something was hurtful, something did kind of affect you to the point that you may be looking at people in a different way, looking at love in a different way, right? So you guys are in recovery from a betrayal scenario. Okay, and if this is not you, then this is the spiritual man. All right, angel number 1111. And so there's some sort of mastery here in regards to who to open up to, who to be vulnerable around, and who to allow in, who to allow to help or assist. And this can also be in regards to the love dynamic. When we talk about the love dynamic, that means, am I going to allow you to love me, right? Or am I going to allow myself to fall in love, right? So figure out where this fits for you, whether this is you or this person. Angel number 1144. And then we have the 10 of Wands here. And so I will say, whatever situation you faced as of recently, and when I say as of recently, I would say within the past 7 to 8 weeks, okay? This could be about 2 months and a half. You guys could have been in a situation where you've been really overwhelmed, stressed out, taking other people's energy in, taking other people's responsibilities as your own, basically like babying other people or mothering other people that didn't need to be mothered, okay? Or nurturing people that didn't want to do things for themselves, okay? When you were really supposed to be taking care of yourself. You're definitely almost where you need to be in terms of your recovery. This definitely did take a toll on you. There was a lot of extraness when it comes to, daily tasks, when it comes to energy. When I say energy, this could just be energetic, but it could also be mentality, right? So when we talk about mentality shifts, you becoming very overwhelmed mentally, energetically drained, mentally drained, mentally checking out because you're doing too much, especially not enough for yourself, but more for people, becoming overloaded, carrying too much responsibilities, stressing out over things that you didn't have to stress about in the first place, right? Especially when it comes to being fooled by other people, being misled in relationships. And all of that could have caused a toll on you. So what's coming next is that you're getting out of this energy. You're regaining your strength, okay? You are realizing where the blood, sweat, and tears all went into, and redirecting that energy to yourself, so that way you can soothe yourself, so that way you can heal yourself, and you can welcome in healthier connections, healthier relationships, right? So you're strengthening yourself. This is willpower, okay? It's going to come in a very subtle way. Especially what's coming next is it's almost like you're going to see a slight shift within yourself. You're going to see yourself slowly picking yourself back up. It's not going to be a major shift, right? But it is an energetic shift. And when we talk about energetic shift, from what I'm seeing here, it's going to be spiritually and mentally. And this is going to bleed into, of course, this long-term relationship that you're going to have with this spiritual man. All right. So you will see a shift in regards to stress. And we have the Page of Cups here. And when we see the Page of Cups, sometimes this means there could be some spiritual downloads that take place for you intuitively. You will feel a little bit more in tune with your intuition. Sometimes this means that you will daydream a little more. You will tap more into that inner childish play. Page of Cups also gives you this flirtatious type of energy and vibe. And so I will say that these are the different things that are coming in next for you. So pay attention to those things. You may have some sort of news or information. Some of you guys may get omens of messages. All right. New possibilities definitely coming in. And of course, Page of Cups also symbolizes new love. All right. And that new love is with that spiritual man. Bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Swords. Of course, you may be conflicted. All right. I did say these are energetic shifts, right? This does not mean that you're prepared to jump into something new, all right, something fresh, or to just jump in romantically deep diving, right? And so the Page of Cups definitely says, maybe as things are shifting and changing, you may feel like something is fishy, something's not to your liking, or something may be happening too quickly. But then again, I also said, make sure that you pay attention. If something is moving way too fast, then it's not the right time, right? I did talk about how you want to make sure that you are welcoming in a commitment for long-term purposes and not something that is temporary. So make sure that if anything, it does kind of make you second guess, whether or not, like, for example, anything that will be a difficult choice, okay, for you. Coming up next, make sure that you sit there with your intuition, meditate on it, pray on it, ask your spiritual team, ask the Most High for a sign, especially whether it's a red flag or a green flag, because you want something that is healthy and you don't want something that is toxic. You don't want to jump right into a situation that you just got out of, right? So you want to be careful with people that are trying to get away with certain things in your energy, trying to trick you, or are dishonest. So because you are recovering from that. Angel number 1717 equates to 88, right? So that being said, spiritually, it is not healthy for you to be around people that will omit the truth from you, that will try to manipulate you, that will try to get their way, that do not put you first, meaning they don't consider you when they do things, when they take action, when they say things. They don't consider your emotions. They don't consider your mental health. They don't consider your financial situation. They just don't consider what's going on with you. They would rather consider themselves first versus considering the both of you and the both kind of like the both folds of the situation. Like, I'm going through this and you're going through that, so this is what we're going to do together, right? Versus someone that's a little bit more narcissistic, because I feel like some of you guys are healing from narcissistic people or people with narcissistic characteristics. And so that could be significant too. So pay attention to those things, all right? We spoke about avoidance for you guys. So be careful with going back and kind of backtracking in regards to avoidance, not wanting to make decisions, not wanting to, like, this is like the procrastination, right? So coming up next, be careful with toxic behaviors of procrastination, avoiding to do something that you should do, avoiding to have conversations that you should have, avoiding to put your foot down in regards to boundaries, especially when it comes to making decisions and choices. There is this energy of stagnation that is coming up, which is completely different than, okay, this is a hard choice, I'm not sure what to choose, versus I'm not going to choose anything because I feel more comfortable not putting my foot in my mouth, or I feel more comfortable not making someone else uncomfortable. That is something that you guys should definitely be paying attention to, especially in regards to commitment. Okay, that's the cycle thing that's coming up for you guys. And that's like a karmic lesson, right? Karmic lessons don't always mean karmic relationships. It's just a lesson that we have to get by. It's kind of like a tough lesson, that once we learn it, we jump straight into the next phase of our spiritual journey. And hand in hand with healing, that helps us to become more accountable for us not to repeat things, right? Especially if this is something that you guys have been doing for some time, maybe since high school or maybe since 2012. For some of you 2022, 2023 in terms of year, is what I'm seeing. So that could be significant for some of you guys. But that is what is coming next. Let's see what your collective energy is. Let's see where you're at. And we're going to go ahead with the what's the vibe and see what your energy is. Looking a little paranoid. Bottom of the deck. A little cautious and secure, a little guarded. You're peeping through the peephole. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready for this. Let's see what's going on here. Current energy. Current energy for the Crowllective. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss any live notifications. If you have already subscribed and you're a Crowley, drop down your little crows. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Current energy. All right, here it is. Wishful thinking in the reverse. I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm not going to get my hopes up. Mika, you're telling me about a spiritual man. Don't get me hyped up. I don't want to get my hopes up. What is this? All right, we have second chance. You're not giving nobody a second chance. We have deja vu. This doesn't feel like something I want to go through again. Nostalgia? Don't think so. All right. That's funny. It's clarifying the no and give it time. Some of you guys might not feel like it's the right time to jump into something. It's like, I don't think I'm ready. And for those of you, like I have my Crowllies, right, that are single and you're healing. I have the Crowllies that are in relationships. You have your own nest, right? You're working on things with your own healing. And then I have the Crowllies that are like, I think I might be ready to meet someone, but I just don't want to be with that old person, So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. So for those of you that you're in your healing journey and you're not sure about who you're going to, let in, there is this avoidance thing, that thing that you don't want to talk about, that thing that, you don't want to face, that decision, that choice that you don't want to make. You need to do that. That's what's coming in next. That's your current energy. For those of you that you're in a relationship already, you have your own nest, right? Your own family, stuff like that. You are in the process of healing, but there's something that you haven't healed yet, or there's something that you're avoiding to heal, and you need to heal in order to reconstruct or establish a healthier connection within that nest, within your soulmate dynamic. And then for those of you that okay, I think I might want to date someone. I just don't want to date the past person. I don't want anything to do with that old person, right? There's something that you're avoiding to do in regards to closing that chapter with that person. We have suffering and silence in the reverse. So I do see that you guys are starting to open up more. You're verbalizing what's the problem. You're addressing certain things in regards to your feelings. But I will say that there are certain things that you're not realizing in regards to an old masculine, okay? This is the masculine that you're not necessarily talking to, but they are in your energy. And so there's something that you are avoiding in regards to disconnecting that energy between you and them. And that can be anywhere between, socials are still linked, or their number is still in your phone, or this person is still, talking about you to other people, and you're still hearing about it through someone else. and you're still engaging through actually having a conversation with those people about that person. Or it can also be this dynamic of this person keeps trying to reach out to you and you don't talk to this person, but you find yourself back on their social media account trying to figure out what they're doing. Okay, so that right there, that needs to be closed. Okay, in order for that thing to be, shaped into something new, right? So we have broken dreams, real feelings, and unspoken desires. I feel like that if this is not your desires, it's their desires. And the energy itself, it doesn't have to necessarily mean communication between the both of you guys. Energetically, if this person is pulling on your energy by speaking and conjuring up your name, by referencing you in conversation, by searching you up, by asking other people about you, or even by, still having an emotional entanglement or an emotional connection to you, meaning unprocessed emotions, or there's no closure between the both of you guys, there's still ties there, baby. Okay. Especially if you guys, whether you or they have not spoken their real feelings, there's still ties there. Okay. And that makes sense on why the death card came up, because the death card talks about a shift, a change, a transformation. It talks about an ending, something needing to end in order for a rebirth to start, right? And we have lust here in the reversed. So I don't feel like this is like for those of you that know what it is when somebody is channeling you and tapping into you, through your energy, like through desire, through lust, through sexual fantasy and stuff like that. This is just a confirmation. No, it's not necessarily that, right? It's not sex magic. It's not, 18 plus masturbation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, it's this energy of like, okay, well, maybe this person is really desiring you from a subconscious type of mindset, and they are not emotionally mature enough to say what is actually happening. They might not be able to communicate their feelings, and they might not take accountability for how they actually feel versus how they are acting towards you, right? And so again, this is this past energy. And yes, this energy will come up, but it will only come up because there's certain things that you need to heal, and that person also needs to heal from you. And so this will definitely come up in your current energy. This doesn't mean that you're talking to this person. For some of you, you may be, but a lot of the times the energy just comes up kind of like as a matter of fact, just so you can know, right? Not for you to do anything in regards to communicating with this person or anything like that. It's more for informational purposes in regards to your healing journey. Okay. That being said, they are becoming a little bit more considerate in regards to pulling on your energy, and that's the current vibe. Okay. And you too, you're not like, you're being more aware, like you're redirecting your energy now in regards to that old person. Again, we have paranoid came out again. This was the bottom of the deck energy. Okay. So insecurities, being guarded, like being cautious of what's coming next. Again, you are leaving this energy of that Seven of Swords, right? So that does mean like you're being a little bit more strategic in regards to, why do you want to talk to me? Why are you interested in me? Why do you want a relationship with me? Why do you want to get to know me, right? So you're asking more why questions instead of being more intrigued in just diving into situations with anybody, right? In regards to relationships, especially if we want some sort of long-term connection with you, right? And then we have the nightlife card here. We have gamble, Vegas, striptease energy. So I will say that in regards to relationships and commitments, it is a gamble for you right now. It's a gamble for you because you're trying to heal certain things. Some of you guys may have trust issues. Some of you guys may be a little insecure on the reasoning why someone could be attracted to you or wanting to flirt with you, right? So the whole why are you interested in me is definitely coming up, right? That being said, I do feel like people are definitely attracted to you, attracted to your body, attracted to your beauty, attracted to your essence energetically. So do protect your energy. This is like having healthier boundaries in regards to the particular type of clothing that you wear. If you don't want certain types of attention, there may be something that you need to do in terms of your wardrobe, right? Or the certain type of post that you post, you want to make sure that you're posting certain things that does not get the wrong attention. Now, I'm not your mama. You could do whatever you want with your body, sis. But I will say this is just me spiritually advising you that energetically, coming up next, you could be attracting certain types of energies that could want certain things from you that you might not want to necessarily open up to right now, right? That being said, let's move on to what your healing messages are, what you're healing from, right? Let's see what's going on here in regards to healing. Like, everybody has free will. You can do whatever you want. I'm just here to advise. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. And that's it. Of course, we have some gaslighting here. And that did come up in the past couple readings. All right, we have behaviors of a healthy relationship. Okay, and we have a toxic person here. We have a toxic relationship you're healing from. Somebody wants to continue a relationship with you or keep something going with you, and then we have gaslighting phase 4. So let's do the rundown. All right, we'll leave the healthy relationship for last. How about that? All right, so this is what you're healing from. You're healing from a toxic person. This means you can only talk to them at certain times. So you have to put yourself first. And that's something that I have been talking to you guys about for this reading. And this is like maybe like the second time that I talked about like establishing boundaries. Okay. Hold on. Maybe you guys zoom in. There we go. So establishing boundaries, putting yourself first. Okay. So this means that sometimes when you talk to certain people, they make it about themselves. Okay. So as soon as you pick up the phone, this person is yelling and screaming and complaining and upset and crying, and they haven't even said good morning. Like, you rubbing the sleep out of your eyes, okay? And you're like, what the heck is going on? Right? Or you finally see somebody and you're excited to tell them something, and they always have something that to say, and they don't, after they finish venting to you, they don't say, hey, how are you doing? How has that situation, how did you fix that situation? Or how was that conversation with such and such? Or, is everything good with you? Like, they're not checking in with you mentally, emotionally, or anything like that. They're just like, what? Trauma dumping, right? And so putting yourself first means making sure that you know when you're going to answer the phone. Okay. You already know, you kind of categorize people by usually when I answer the phone with this person, they do ... or they don't do ... And so putting yourself first would be like labeling, okay, is this person a toxic person, or does this person have toxic traits that they're working through, right? Because that will be able to give you a stance of what type of boundaries to have with those particular people, right? So you got to kind of moving in next, this is how you're healing. You're healing by categorizing people. You're putting them where they need to go. You know how in your contacts you have the section where like how you know the person, like, okay, this person may be like a coworker, this person may be family, a category like that, right? So this family member has toxic traits. So maybe we'll go yellow flag. Whenever this person calls me yellow flag, let's just take it slow when we answer this phone call, right? Or, that person that you've been avoided for like 2 months, and they pop up at your house and you go, maybe let's not make any sounds. Maybe let's not be home right now. Maybe just like show no sign of being home, even though I'm home, right? Like, let's mute everything. Let's not open the door. Let's silent the phone, right? Um, or like the green flags of like, every time I talk to this person makes me feel better. Every time I talk to this person, I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel respected, I feel appreciated. And I also know that I can give that same type of energy to that person, right? So kind of figuring that out. This is your healing journey, like being able to identify, is this person just toxic, or does this person have toxic traits that they have to work through? And not just that, but also realize who is the person that has toxic traits, or has, maybe they're not a narcissist, but their mom was a narcissist or their father was a narcissist, and so they have narcissistic characteristics that they don't want to be accountable for, and they only want to point the finger to the person that hurt them, right? So there's certain things that can help you in your healing journey in regards to who to be around and who to allow into your energy, right? Allowing people into your energy means picking up the phone, texting them, looking at their social media posts, going out with them, linking up with them outside of your home, inviting them into your home, right? Or inviting them to certain, I don't know, like different events and stuff like that you go to. So there's certain things that you can do in your healing journey to prevent yourself from, again, going back to what? Overly extending your energy. Stop sitting there and avoiding and giving excuses, that avoidance, right? Giving excuses to people. Oh, they're not really like that. Or they're just having a bad day. Or, they didn't mean it like that, right? That thing that you're recovering from, that's what you've been avoiding. You've been avoiding giving someone the toxic person label. You've been avoiding setting healthier boundaries for people that have toxic characteristics that do not want to be accountable for what they're doing to you. Okay. Toxic person, right? Toxic relationship, patterns of disrespect, jealousy, and possessiveness, constant miscommunication, lack of support, fear of confrontation. These are behaviors and signs you have already seen. You've already seen this in regards to this toxic relationship. For some of you, it may be a few toxic relationships, but we'll just start with one for your healing message, okay? And you take it how it applies, all right? And if you ever like want to screenshot these just so that way you can have it, in your phone screen, take notes, go back, save this video, right? So toxic relationship, you can be healing from a toxic relationship. There's been patterns. You're being disrespectful. You're disrespecting me again. Oh, here you go, not allowing me to speak for myself. Here you go, putting words in my mouth. Here you go, assuming that I'm doing this and this and that, but in reality, you didn't even ask, right? Here you go with the compare and contrast. We're not the same person. We may have experienced similar things, but this is a trauma bond, and you're just projecting what is going on with you to me, all right? You may be jealous of me because you don't want to face your insecurities, trauma bond, projection. You're becoming possessive over me because you're codependent and you can't do things by yourself, okay? Toxic. There's constant miscommunication, and you don't want to fix the communication barrier between us because you always want to be wrong. In regards to how you speak to me, how you address me, right? You don't want to correct the communication issue or barrier between us because you always want to be right. I'm always wrong. Toxic relationship. You don't support me the way I support you. I'm always there when you need me. I can get up in the middle of the night and show up for that situation, for that event, open my doors so that way you can come to me. But when I need you and I pick up the phone, you're gone, you're MIA. Toxic relationship. Every time I try to confront you about something that you did, something that you said, or something that I heard that you did somewhere else, maybe a rumor or something like that, just to clear things up. You don't know what I'm talking about. You don't want to talk about it. You want to blame other people. You don't want to confront the situation. Toxic relationship. There's no progress in regards to how we're going to make this resolve itself. We don't find a resolution. We just keep moving. We just keep going. We keep it pushing, keep it pushing, keep it pushing. And all that baggage, we're just carrying it along with us. This baggage needs to go. Toxic relationship. That's what you're healing from. Okay. Then we have someone wants to keep a connection going with you. True intentions, regretting losing you. And I could be talking about that masculine energy that you've left behind. All right. But for others of you, it could be someone else. Now, masculine energy doesn't always have to be a man. Masculine energy sometimes come out as an air sign or a fire sign. Masculine energy can also be a feminine with very masculine traits. Okay, just put it where it fits for you, my love bugs. All right. So true intentions, regretting losing you. So they want to cling on to the relationship. This sounds like the codependent one, right? Cling on to the relationship so bad, right? Because they don't want to lose you, right? They have a fear of being alone. They're lonely and they always connect with you when they're alone or lonely, realizing that they didn't mean what they said or did to you. And they're beating themselves up because they let you go or broke up with you. You put it where it fits, right? That's the person that wants to keep the connection between the both of you going. You're healing from that, okay? Now, we talked about the gaslighting situation. This is the phase 4 of gaslighting, all right? This is the silent treatment, the pulling away method, all right? So that way they make you question, was it my fault? Did I do something? Okay. Was what I said wrong? Did I do something wrong? Did I offend them? Right? Is something wrong with me? Right? Leading you to want or desire closure with them. So now you're running to them, asking them for questions like, hey, did I do something wrong? Did I offend you? Did I hurt you? Did I hurt your feelings? How can I fix this? When in reality it's gaslighting. They're leading you to want to do this, all right, to want to find closure with them, right, so that they can conform this emotional codependent attachment between the both of you. So whenever they start to pull away again, here you go running. How can I fix it? How can I fix it? How can I fix it? Right? And not necessarily kind of sit back and be like, hold on, wait, I didn't do anything wrong. You were the one that did that. But you're making me feel like it's my fault. All right. That's gaslighting. That's emotional gaslighting and manipulation. Okay. Some of you guys have been going through this with a toxic person or a toxic relationship for some time now. And that is something that you've been healing for some time. And you're still healing from it. Again, with that 7 of Swords, this is that trickery, that fraud, right? That betrayal situation. If someone's omitting some sort of information from you, they make you feel bad because, I couldn't tell you this because then you were going to feel upset or you were going to be, you're going to be hurt about it, right? So I didn't tell you that. Or so this is another situation where I'm seeing like, I told this person and not you because, you are overly emotional or you overreact. This is another form of gaslighting, okay? So this is why they want you to know about healthy relationship behaviors. When we talk about emotions, we talk about a mutual feeling-based connection. We're talking about honesty. So you guys are healing from dishonest situations. You're healing from not being able to have honest people. Like, just be real with me. Just tell me how you really feel. Don't have an excuse behind why you didn't tell me something, or don't have an excuse behind not telling me the whole thing, like the whole situation layout. You're only telling me like 3% of it. The other freaking 97% I have to find out through rumors, right? And maybe maybe like 92% through rumors and the other percentage through my intuition and my spiritual team, right? So it's like, honesty is a healthy relationship. Someone just be able to be like, listen, I don't want to offend you, but this is how I feel. I know that you can be a little overly emotional, so just brace yourself because I'm going to tell you the truth and I'm going to be raw about it, right? There's ways that you can be honest with someone in a respectable manner. But again, going back to you've been dealing with situations and people that they don't even try, that they don't want to take accountability for being truthful to themselves. Because if they're lying to you, then they're constantly lying to themselves because they live with themselves, correct? The way someone treats someone else is just a minor percentage of how they treat themselves every single day. So if someone cannot be real with you, they cannot be real with themselves. And so you're now healing so that way you can prepare yourself for a healthy relationship. Okay. As you share your feelings and thoughts with someone, the both of you should be able to be transparent. Okay. Transparency is key. You should be able to feel comfortable and make sure that you establish healthy boundaries when you're sharing feelings, hopes, and fears with certain people. Okay. And so, for your healing message, this should be your guideline in regards to detecting whether someone is a toxic person, someone has toxic traits, someone is going through certain things that they need to take accountability for, whether or not they're taking accountability for it, or whether or not they're playing the blame game, which is the projection. Okay. And identifying who's gaslighting you and what type of gaslighting manipulation they're using, right? Which emotional manipulation is something that you guys could be very susceptible to. So making sure that you have healthy emotional boundaries on when to open up and be vulnerable with people. Again, that strength card, being courageous enough to open up and telling your truth, telling your pain, being vulnerable with people, and then knowing, having healthy boundaries of, you know what, I'm not going to share that pain with you because you're going to use that pain and manipulate it. You're going to manipulate the fact that, let's say, we had insecurities, right, that came up for you guys. Let's say you guys have, I'm hearing body dysmorphia, okay? And I'm not pushing any type of, trauma or anything like that on you guys. Again, only go with what fits for you. If you have body dysmorphia or there's certain parts of your body that you don't appreciate, or you're in your healing journey, you're becoming more body positive, right? Especially for my big curvy girls, you're becoming more body positive. Or for those of you that have skin issues, or for those like acne and stuff like that, or for those of you that are going through like, oh, I don't really like the way clothing fits on me anymore. Like, what the heck is going on with the clothing style at this point, right? And so making sure that, like, okay, it's not your body. Just choose a different section. Choose a different section of where you're getting clothes. Choose a different store of where you're getting clothes. Freaking learn how to make your own clothes, boo. Like, make it work for you, right? Be more positive about it, right? More body affirmations, right? Looking for plus size models instead of thinner models, more curvier models, right? Models that fit, let's say, your specific body type, right? Are you the apple body type, apple bottom, or are you the pear type, or you got the big melons, so you need, big booby girls all up in your feed, so that way you be like, yeah, that's me, and you feel positive, you feel affirmed, you feel, seen, right? And for those of you, if you're like in your weight loss journey, then vice versa, right? Do some of that, but also look at things that's going to work for you. So that way it can push you and navigate you to the right direction in which you want to head in, right? Especially if it talks about changing your diet or your lifestyle. Do those things that are going to cheer you on versus make you feel like crap. So do not allow someone, like if you have, again, insecurity of, let's say, your lips, right? Maybe your lips are not as plump as other people, and you have people that be like, oh, you have that little issue with your lips, so you might need to get some lip fillers or something. No, you can. You know how many like lip oils there are? that you can literally just like plump your lips with some lip oil. Like, come on. Like, there's no need. Now, for those of you that want to do those things, that's perfectly fine. I affirm you. You can do whatever you want with your body, boo. I love it. Okay. But don't allow somebody else's projection of what their expectations are to change who you are, to change who you want to become in your healing journey. Okay. So, that being said, do not give little breadcrumbs of insecurities or of pain that you are going through to people that are going to use that to hurt you more, to manipulate you more. Okay? Especially if it's something that is still raw. It still hurts. Okay? You haven't even bandaged it up yet to heal from it. So, like, sometimes people don't announce that they have gone through a breakup, or they're about to get divorced, or they're going through a situation, physically, like an ailment or something like that, to other people, because evil eye is real. Evil eye is not just someone speaking to you. It's evil eye is also people speaking about you. Evil eye is also someone like watching you like a hawk to see if something is going to happen and it's not going to happen. You guys all know the line, you can't watch something while it's cooking. Same thing when you're healing. You keep telling people, I'm in my healing journey. I'm in my healing journey. Everybody's going to keep staring at you. So what are you healing now? So what are you doing now? So how are you doing that? How are you going to get that done? Oh my God, that sounds so overwhelming. Do you think you can do all of that? Right? You know who the fuck I'm talking about. You guys know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about when I start talking like that. All right. That use your intuition. Your intuition is letting you know that's a toxic person. That's that person that's trying to manipulate. That's that gaslighter. Uh-huh. There you go. There you go. Write it down in your journal. Write it down in red. The gaslighter is, underline and circle it. Okay. So that way you know for a fact, okay, when that line comes up, when that person calls me, when that person messages me, when that person comments under my post, I know, red flag. I must be triggering you because you don't want to do nothing for yourself. I am the example. You don't even want to follow. You understand? You just want to be that bully in the back of the classroom. He, ha, ha. But in reality, at home, you feel like shit because your parents are bullying you. Okay? That's where you got it from. So that being said, when it comes to your healing messages, identify who's the toxic person, who's the gaslighter, all right? Who's the toxic relationship, right? Who's that green flag? That green flag is that person that you want to always come through in your line, right? Whether it comes through social media, whether it goes through like physical encounters, hanging out with them socially, right? Who's the yellow flag? I need to make sure I have enough energy to deal with this. And who's the red flag? I cannot have this person in my energy, in my timeline, on my socials, on my phone, in my house, none of that. Okay. Now we're going to move on, my babies, to what is next? Who's assisting you? All right. Moving forward in your spiritual journey. All right. We're whipping out the metaphysical cannabis oracle deck. All right. We're going to see what comes out here for you guys in regards to that. Let me know so far which message definitely resonated with you the most, okay? What message is really helping you in your healing journey? Comment down below. I love to hear from you guys. I love to engage with you, all right? If you really feel like this message might not just apply to you, but might apply to someone else for you, go ahead and share this reading. Share this reading to them. Send this to them. All right. Let's see what's going on here. The assistance that the Crowllies are getting in the next phase of their spiritual journey. All right. We have union. So what you're getting here, like the assistance that you're getting is about this union with this spiritual man. So whoever's going to help you next is going to help you to connect you with this person. like for the both of you guys to connect and dance and talk and really like dive in together. Okay. The fact that the both of you guys are in rhythm, all right, you feel so comfortable with each other. To dance with someone, you have to be comfortable. You know that? For someone to grab you around your love handles, you have to be comfortable with that. You have to be comfortable with that. Like being all up close, all right, you have to be comfortable with that. So maybe they're helping you to become more comfortable with your body, more comfortable with connecting with just spiritual people in general, okay? Or connecting you with this spiritual man. All right, who is assisting them in their next phase? We have unconditional love. This is the blueprint. So someone's helping you like sketch out your blueprint in regards to love dynamics. Maybe this is a coach. Maybe this is a life coach. Maybe this is your therapist. Maybe this is, the person that's hooking you up in regards to like, hey, you should date that. Or you should meet this person. You might be into this person, right? It could be your heart leading you there. Okay. Unconditional love. Who is assisting them in the next phase of their spiritual journey? We have intergalactic mystery. All right. Hey, this is a confirmation. All right. Some of you guys are going to get confirmations when you realize, like, oh, this is the person that's helping me. And you're going to get a confirmation. Okay. So pay attention to confirmations. Like things are going to be building on top of each other for you to realize, like, okay, I know exactly who it is that's helping me. We have bliss. Okay, another lion on the bottom right here. And we have an eagle in the background. We have an owl, all right, on the top part. I do feel like some of you guys could be a little nervous, okay, in terms of getting assistance and getting help. With this bliss energy, I will say that like it's going to feel very dreamy. Like very unreal. All right. Who's assisting them in the next phase of their spiritual journey? We have Yewa guidance. Some of you guys are being guided by your spirit guides. And others of you, it may be your ancestors. Okay. So pay attention to who you're being guided by. All right. We have walking meditation as go. Intuitively, you're being guided like, hey, I'm going to take this walk. I'm going to go to this place. I'm going to just go earthing. I'm going to go walk and chill. I'm going to go explore. All right. Listen to that. You're being guided by your own intuition to go to certain locations and places and stuff like that. So whenever you feel like going somewhere, they literally said, just go. Don't be like, I don't know why I feel like going here. I've never been here before. I don't know how to get there. Okay, don't do that. All right, let's see what your spiritual gifts. All right, spiritual gifts that you're developing right now. Let's see what that is. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit more of the tarot with keywords. Spiritual gifts that they're developing. Spiritual gifts that they're developing. All right. We have lovers. Hold on. Boom. The lovers. Have to cover them up a little bit. So, I will say, when it comes to your spiritual gifts, this is giving communication. Your spiritual communication is developing. So your spiritual communication between your divine partner, okay? For those of you that like you have a divine partner already, and this can come in the form of a twin flame, this can come in the form of like soul family, like your spirit tribe and stuff like that, you guys are in sync. So when you guys are talking, the both of you guys know exactly what you're talking about. There's no extra physical words that need to be uttered. You guys are like on the same wavelength, okay? Spiritual communication can also be the communication between you and your spiritual team, communication between you and animals, the communication between you and your spirit guides, okay? Communication between you and your ancestors, the communication between you and the earth, okay? It's just everything is just falling into alignment, okay, when it comes to communication. Relationships, all right, are becoming deeper, fuller, richer, okay? So when we talk about love situations, this your spiritual gift in regards to clairsentience is heightening, all right? So again, making sure that you have healthy boundaries emotionally. So your heart center, making sure that you have, crystals, or you have your singing bowl and you do your singing bowl meditation daily, whether it be before you step out or when you come back in to ground yourself, right? When you wear certain crystals or utilize certain crystals for meditation purposes, right? Pretty soon I'm going to have a workshop on how to do certain types of meditations, right? Whether it be breath work, what type of breath work techniques to use, how to do meditation specifically for certain chakras, and different types of accessories that you can use during meditation that can enhance your meditation, and how to do a simple meditation anywhere, any place, no tools, okay? So if you guys are interested in that, go to my website, spiritualistboutique.com. Definitely go ahead and check out my up and coming virtual meditation circle on October 6th. Okay, I do have a few other ones that are coming up if you can't make it that day, and it is completely free. So go ahead and RSVP and bring a friend too. Okay, that being said, you guys are connecting more emotionally. Clairsentience does impact you energetically and emotionally. So when you are talking to someone that is extremely hype, and when I say hype, this could be, extremely angry or extremely happy and optimistic, or just like kind of like that ADHD vibe, jumping, bouncing off the walls and stuff like that, that could be very overwhelming for you. Okay. It's almost like I can say that clairsentience is like personalizing other people's emotions, other people's experiences as your own. So you want to make sure that you have protective jewelry, as like crystals and stones and stuff like that. You want something that transmutes the energy. So if something is too overwhelming for you, it kind of regulates it. Emotional regulation is your friend. If you don't know how to emotionally regulate yourself, you definitely want to try to learn how to do that. All right. That is something that is going to benefit you moving forward, especially with your spiritual gifts and developing your spiritual gifts. Knowing when, who to have around you and who not to have around you, right? Especially if there's certain people that are more pessimistic than optimistic, right? It's not that you want to keep them, away from you for good, but do have them at arm's length, especially when you're having a low vibe day where you don't have enough energy for yourself. You want to make sure that you maintain your energy at a high energy. So definitely do have what I call like a self-care box, right? A self-care box can be like your favorite book, your favorite music list, your like any sensory thing, like your favorite like cuddle thing, right? So it could be like your favorite blanket, or it can be your favorite comfy socks. It can be your favorite stuffed animal or whatever, just depends on like what is your sensory thing for you. Some of you guys, it could be like fidget toys, right? Others of you, it can be like, okay, it makes me feel more comfortable and grounded if I paint. It doesn't matter if I paint with my hands or if I paint with a tool like a paintbrush, or if I am like knitting or something like that, something that will help you to ground your emotions so that way you don't become overwhelmed, right? Especially if you have to, let's say, for real life situations and events, go to a very serious situation. Like when we get into serious situations, like someone is sad, someone may have passed away, or someone's always arguing in that place, or someone's always like they don't like each other, but they use you as a buffer or something like that. You want to make sure that you have a way to treat yourself before anybody else can, right? Going back to taking accountability, putting yourself first, right? So communication in terms of your spiritual gifts is heightening. So you can sense emotionally when someone is in distress and you can absorb that. Okay. So with your spiritual gifts, you want to make sure that you know how to communicate with your spiritual team, but you also want to make sure that you know how to communicate and advocate for yourself and get yourself out of those situations and have healthier boundaries. So that way, when you, let's say you have to go to that meeting, you have to go to work, you have to talk to that friend, you have to talk to that family member, you have to, engage with those people, you know exactly how to get yourself out of that situation if need be, not in a rude way, but in a very conscious way, self-aware way, where you are helping yourself, you're advocating yourself for yourself, and you're also not being kind of like, rude or anything like that to anybody else involved, especially if money is involved, right? If it's work related, I gotta be here, but sometimes that energy kind of gives off as like, oh, who do you think you are? And, that might not be the best. So make sure that, when it comes to spiritual communication, when you talk to your spirit guides, you ask for assistance when you need it. When you ask your angels and you're talking to your angels, you ask for intervention when you need it. When you're talking to your ancestors, you inform them, what you need assistance on, what you don't need assistance with. And then, of course, day-to-day mundane life, you advocate for yourself and you tell other people what is good and what is not good, what can be tolerated by you and what will not be tolerated, okay? When it comes to your spiritual gifts, communication is key for you guys. And then we have the Queen of Cups. Of course, your intuition is being enhanced. You are someone that people go to be nurtured, to be poured into. But that means that you also have to pour into yourself, right? So make sure that you're not just pouring out, you're pouring inward. So spiritually, you're developing this intuition that is being enhanced. And sometimes, and I can say this and vouch for it myself because I've done it myself sometimes where I have to reel it back in, where I'm in my day-to-day life and I can feel something intuitively. That doesn't mean that I have to put my 2 cents in. You get what I'm saying? Just because I feel that you're a little depressed and stuff like that, and I have a close connection to you, doesn't mean that I should read you for filth. You get what I'm saying? And so intuitively, your spiritual gifts are developing, and you can sense and pick up things. You need to be able to pick up and drop it. Pick up and drop it. This is what you're learning with your spiritual gifts. You can pick it up, like kind of suss it out, and then drop it. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything with it. It just means that your spiritual team is preparing you to kind of just read the room, read certain people, so that way it will prepare you to know who to have around you and who to keep at arm's length, okay? So emotionally stabilizing yourself, emotionally grounding yourself, protecting your intuitive gifts is also something significant for you guys, meaning who to care about and who to care for in a certain type of way. Meaning, like, you can care about somebody emotionally, but that doesn't mean that you have to take on their pain. That doesn't mean that you have to actually live their depression, And so cleansing and purging your energy is also very beneficial for you guys too in regards to grounding. Especially if you have any water in your chart, okay? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune here in regards to your spiritual gifts. There's going to be a series of events that takes place that's going to enhance your spiritual gifts too. And those series of events does definitely have to do something with that karmic cycle and stuff like that. So these are the lessons that you're learning. With those lessons, as you're completing those lessons, it's going to continue to enhance and develop your psychic gifts, okay, your spiritual gifts. So that way you can become more in tune. So you can familiarize yourself with that spiritual man when you meet that spiritual man, okay? And you can understand what's the difference between a fraudulent spiritual man and an actual spiritual man, okay? Let's see what obstacles you are currently overcoming. Moving forward, let's see. Let's use the Dark Mirror deck here. This deck is really good for shadow work and really getting down underneath the surface to figure out, what's going on, what you need to do, what you don't need to do. All right. So let's see what obstacles are they overcoming. Angel number 111 and 1111 and 222. Okay, let's see what's going on here. All right, Masquerade. So this is what you're overcoming. You're overcoming putting that mask on. Everything's fine. Everything's great. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. This is just my resting face. Okay, the mask. The mask is coming off. The artificial heart. Turning off your heart. That doesn't bother me. Okay, I'm not gonna let them see me cry. All right, this is what you are overcoming right now. You're finally overcoming not knowing who you are. Is this me? In the reverse. Overcoming the fact that like you're finally getting to know yourself. Okay, the real you, not the people that try to project, oh, this is the type of person that you are, or this is how you should dress, or this is how you should talk, right? Or this is the type of job you should do, or this is how much money you should make, right? No. This is what you're overcoming. So emotionally able to validate yourself, speak up, advocate about your feelings, talk to other people about your feelings, right? Talk to the people that are going to validate your feelings. And then we have the child I was meant to be. So you know what you're overcoming? You're overcoming the situations that you had with your inner child. The blockages that your inner child had, all right, that didn't necessarily allow you to be completely who you are now and the person that you're trying to be. Because who you used to be before, when you weren't in your healing path and your healing journey, your inner child was so timid and so scared. And I'm not saying that, there's certain things that you're not healing still from your inner child, but I will say that you've definitely overcome a lot. And you're still overcoming things when it comes to your inner child, but your inner child is now growing and being nourished in the right ways moving forward. Okay. So today for tomorrow, you're being more present. You're not worried too much about tomorrow. You definitely want to plan and prepare for tomorrow, but you're not in this energy of what's that called? Anxiety, Oh, if this doesn't happen, if I don't do this, oh my God, right? You're not in that energy. You're being more present. You're being more involved in today. So that way you can feel more relaxed tomorrow, right? So definitely preparing yourself, bracing yourself for the future is what you're overcoming. You're overcoming that anxiety of, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, if I miss this opportunity, then everything is over, right? And then we're going to have your closing messages. And we're going to wrap this up, y'all. Closing messages. What is their closing message? Closing message. Ooh, capital investment, real estate, property, land, and acres. Some of you guys definitely should start looking into what you want to invest in. Do you want a property? Do you want to learn about real estate? Do you want to get land? All right, you want to purchase land. How do you do that? Do some research, okay? Figure out how to gain capital, right? How much income does that necessarily take? Does it take a lot of money to just get a little plot of land? How much is that? Go ahead and start investigating, all right? That could be your confirmation for some of you guys who've been really wanting to get, some sort of, I don't know if it's just land or if it's like maybe house or property with land, all right? Or it could just be getting your real estate license. We have hope is praying for rain, but faith is bringing an umbrella, okay? So that being said, don't worry about when it's going to rain. You know it's going to rain eventually, right? Just preparing yourself, getting those rain boots ready for whenever it does rain, right? That rainy day fund. Don't worry about when it's going to happen. Just be prepared when it does. You're on the brink of great things to come, and it's coming your way already. Some of you guys have a spirit guide of Elegua, all right? You may need to do an offering, all right? For those of you that do those things, these are the different types of offerings that Elegua does appreciate on the altar. We have a spiritual message coming in from your spiritual team. Stay high vibe, high vibrational. Wear your protection jewelry, all right? Some of you guys need to cover your head when need be, especially when you're around a lot of different energies. Speak high vibrational things into your life, all right? Especially if you are being a little pessimistic one day, just redirect that energy and be like, you know what? Everything's going to be fine. I don't know how it's going to work out, but it will work out, okay? I don't know who's going to help me, but someone will, okay? Shifting that energy. Continue working on your healing. Tomorrow you may not be completely healed, but what matters is that today you focused on two things, just two things to make me feel better, not just today, but two things that are going to shift my reality tomorrow. All right. Do not worry about gang stalkers, my love bugs. Do not worry about people that are constantly in your energy, figuring out what you're going to do next. Just worry about yourself, because if you keep looking to the left and to the right, you might bump into a sign right in front of you. All right. So there may have been a delay with you meeting this spiritual man, but this spiritual man and this connection is coming. You're under protection, complete protection. You're completely protected, okay? And that being said, you don't have to worry about any type of psychic attack. You don't have to worry about anyone being physically harmed around you or your family either, okay? Everyone is safe. You're safe. Do not overwhelm yourself, okay? Take it one day at a time. Remember, there was a delay between you and this spiritual man meeting. But that being said, there are certain things that you had to close out, all right? In terms of certain things that you were avoiding, there was certain things that this spiritual man had to work through, all right, in order for the both of you guys to come together, to learn each other, to be able to come together in union, all right? We had that union card. There will be union between you and the spiritual man. All right. That being said, that is a closed book situation on that. All right. So don't worry. We have Archangel Raphael. If you need any extra boost or help or anything like that in regards to your healing journey, definitely do so with Archangel Raphael. Invoke Archangel Raphael to help you in your healing journey. Ask for Archangel Raphael to help you release resentment, release pain that you have inflicted upon yourself or allowed for other people to hurt you. Okay, just release all that pain. Let the angels take that away from you and allow yourself to experience a beautiful, healthy relationship moving forward. Healthy relationships and friendships, healthy relationships with family, healthy relationships with coworkers, and healthy relationships with other spiritual people, like-minded people like us. Okay, allow these energies to come in and help you and assist you. With that being said, I will see you guys next live stream. Peace.